Hello, I'm AxelMC131 and welcome back to Behind the Blocks in Minecraft 1.8. Now, if you caught my video last week, you would have seen the Make Me a Zombie video. Was that last week or was that the week before? Can't remember. Anyway, so let's get this zombie head off. Hello, yep, it's me. It's really me. I have a follow-up to that, which is kind of my response to a challenge that Redux and Raven and A+MB gave me for the upcoming video, which is having a player on death spawn a zombie with their items. Now, I am sure that if I worked really hard, I could figure that out, but I'm lazy and I like small-scale contraptions. And so what I have instead is a rather neat little system that when you are killed, so if I just go /kill, it will spawn a zombie with the player's head. And as you can see, this zombie is wearing my head, which is thoroughly creepy if you do it in first person, because it's a huge head. That's just weird. And also because it counts as a hat, the zombie doesn't get set on fire by the sunlight, basically. And I can also kill him and reclaim my head as a trophy. He will always drop my head. Okay, now this is a very simple system. I was actually surprised how simple I managed to get it. Other than the fill clock, it's just these 3 command blocks, and then this, which summons an ArmorStand. And there's also a scoreboard to set up. So, let's get right into the action. Alright, so the first thing you guys are going to need is a scoreboard. You can see it on the right hand side there, it's called deaths. We're going to go scoreboard, objectives, add, deaths, just like that. And the stat is called deathCount, and you can just type that in like that, deathCount with a lowercase d, capital C. And that basically just counts your deaths in a game. And that's what we're going to work to figure out if a player is dead or not. Now we need something to act as a proxy for where they died, and you can't execute at a player while they are dead because nothing will happen. In single player the game will pause, and I think in multiplayer it won't be able to execute because they're in like a limbo state where you can't actually have anything execute at them. Because it won't find them. I'm not entirely sure how it works. I'd need to do some more multiplayer testing to check it. But for the moment, we're going to create a proxy, and that proxy is an ArmorStand. Now, you can't see this, but if I go game mode 3, there is an ArmorStand constantly being teleported to me. Here you can see him there. Go back to game mode 1, and whoop, there we go. And now this ArmorStand is special in a few ways. Okay, so we're going to go in this command block here, summon ArmorStand, just tilde, not really necessary. Custom name is deathmarker. This ArmorStand is called deathmarker. That name is not visible. It's a marker, so it is a tiny hitbox, so you can't hit it or put any items in it. It's got no gravity, and it's invisible. So if we come over here, this is just your standard set block clock. This command block here, which is activating every tick, is constantly TPing that entity at E, type equals ArmorStand, name equals deathmarker, to the nearest player with a score deaths of 0. So if I have not got a death recorded, it will be TP'd to me. However, if I get killed, my death score will go up to 1, and the ArmorStand will stop being teleported to me. Then what we're going to do is we have this on a slower tick. This is important to get the timing right, otherwise it will spawn like several zombies at once, because of the nature of the set block clock. And we're going to go execute at player with a deaths minimum score of 1. We're then going to execute at the entity. So this is testing if we have a player with a death recorded. We're then going to execute at the ArmorStand, at the type equals ArmorStand, name equals deathmarker. We're going to summon at the exact same coordinates, tilde, summon zombie, equipment. We're going to open the equipment tag. So you want to go open square bracket, and then for each equipment tag, which are holding in their hand, and then feet, and then legs, and then body, and then head. And you want to go into that last tag, which is the item they were wearing on their head, and you want to go ID Minecraft skull, count 1, damage 3, which is a player skull, and we're going to go tag, open curly bracket, skull owner AxelMC131. Now, if you are using this in a single player world, there is a way to do this in multiplayer, which is to have a separate ArmorStand for each player, and a separate one of these for each, these command block systems for each player. But for each player that you have, you will need to change that there to your name. So if I want, you can actually change this to another name if you wanted though. So if I actually make this Herobrine, this is pretty freaky. If I make the skull owner Herobrine, and you go /kill, it spawns a Herobrine zombie. How cool is that? So yeah, if you want to change that name to whatever you want, you can have any kind of zombie you want. Oh look, I've got Herobrine's head. That's not something you see every day. Anyway, let's change that back. There we go. Anyway, so now after the equipment tag, you then need to add a drop chances. So we're going to go drop chances, and we're going to go open square bracket, and once again you have 0F for each of these. If you check out some of my earlier videos, you'll see this used. Things like the Gold Mite and the Fire Rat. That's an old video, that one. But anyway, so each of these 0F things represents one of the equipment tags. So in the same order. So this is the item they're holding in their hand, their feet, their legs, their body, and then their head. And all these are 0F, which means that they have a 0 chance of dropping because there's nothing there, so you don't need it. But the item they're wearing on their head, which is my skull, has a 1 in 1 chance of dropping. So 1.0 is 100%, basically. If you want to make it drop only half the time, you'd go 0.5. But I've made it drop all the time. And that's all you need. So that is that summons the zombie. And then all you need to do then is have a comparator. So they'll only and then activate that if that activates true, so this actually happens. And we're just going to set all players' death score back to 0. And that's pretty much all there is to it. It can get quite fun, because if I go game mode 0 and I go /kill, let me just put my difficulty to hard. The zombies will propagate, because it's not just from the /kill. This will happen whenever you die, no matter what kills you. And even if you're killed by one of your own player zombies. So they will propagate. So there's 2 of them now. Okay. And now there's 3. Sorry about the bird, by the way. Being really obnoxious today. Aren't you? Aren't you, Chaos? Very obnoxious. And now there's 4. And yeah, it can get a bit chaotic. So if you don't control the zombie problem. But if you want to collect your own head for some reason, then there you go. And it can also be quite fun because if you can get this working for multiplayer, as I say, you'll need one of these for each player, and to specify their name rather than @P or @A. You can have a system where when people are PvPing, they kill the player, then they have to kill the zombie to collect the head as a trophy, which I think could be quite cool. So yeah, there's my answer to the challenge that Redux and Raven and A+ set me. I'm not going to even try to do it with all the items that a player may be holding, but the player head, I think that's quite cool enough. I think that works quite well, and it's incredibly simple too. There's only, other than the clock, just 3 command blocks, and then the one over here to summon the ArmorStand. You could probably do this as a 1 command. You'd need to specify everyone's name in it though. Because I'm not sure how to add a player selector in something like a summon command. But yeah, that's pretty much all there is to it. Guys, I hope you have enjoyed. Thank you very much for watching. I've been AxelMC131. That bird over there has been Chaos, the really loud budgie. Thank you for joining in. And I'll see you next time.